Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go racing here for the first ever broadcast race of the Flat Out Racing League, being run by Oliver, one of our regular races here at Motive. And here we are at the head of the grid here at Imola with the live five lights coming on, and it's lights out and away we go. Nathan there gets a good start from pole position. Vista from second place didn't get a great one. Freddie's already attacking on the back of him, coming down towards turn one, as you got Brinky there just behind them, fourth place ahead of WTF3. You got a Red Bull there, Ando's Command looking up the inside of Rock there as they come through turns 1, 2 and 3, and it's all clean at the moment, looks like for the most part, although Ando's Command has moved it back a little bit down to 8th place. It's down to 9th now, so Ando's Commando dropping back down the field here rapidly at the start of this race. It's Nathan leading. Oh, as Vista goes wide there onto the gravel, that allows Freddie up into P2, and Vista there down to 4th place. WTF3's got around the outside of him up into 3rd. Ando's Commando's out of the race already here in this one. A disastrous start there for Ando's Commando. Virtual safety car deployed here on the first lap. It's Nathan still leading though, ahead of Freddie in 2nd place, with WTF3 3rd, and Vista completing the top 4 at the moment. You got Brinky there in 5th place ahead of Rock, followed by got High back there in 8th place, followed by Jay Royberg. Then you got Oliver, who's just been passed by Chris. Chris will have to get that position back because obviously we're under VSC, but it looks like the Ferrari there of Oliver's got big damage on the front wing, so he's lost his front wing, so that's going to obviously mean he's going to need to come into the pits pretty soon, because that car's going to be undrivable at this point, or at least at racing speeds anyway. But Nathan currently leading the race here as we're coming towards the end of the first lap. Still under VSC at the moment, so obviously it'll be a little way before we actually get going properly here. But Nathan from Freddie from WTF Freak with Vista, as we said before, the top 4. And obviously big shout out to Freddie being on track here tonight. We obviously thought he wasn't going to be racing for a little while because he's had some medical issues which obviously he's had to see to, and we weren't sure whether or not he'd be back before F1 23 goes out and F1 24 comes in, but it's great to see that he's made a very quick recovery from these issues, and he's back out on track here. Obviously he was alongside me in the commentary box on Friday night for Motive's F1 League, and he's back out on track here tonight in the Ferrari here at Imola. And currently keeping the race leader under a bit of pressure in these early stages of the race, because Nathan from Freddie from WTF Freak and Vista there still P4s. We're underway once again. Virtual safety car has now subsided. We've got to justify moving ahead of Arlenberg up into P10. So he's now in the points paying positions there. We've got Rock there getting around the outside of Speedasher as well there. So Rock making a good move there around the outside of the hairpin. Nathan's still leading the race, but Freddie is absolutely hassling the back of him right now as they come down through Aqua Minerale, and less than half a second between these two at the moment. WTF Freak trying to keep on the coattails of these top 2 at the moment. A bit of a train of cars here, all the way down from the lead down to 8th place at the moment. So lots of drivers in this fight, but I tell you what, Freddie is breathing down the neck of our race leader as we come down the hill towards Rivazza once again here on the second lap of the race. First time they've taken this corner at racing speeds in this race, and Freddie, look how close he is to the back of Nathan. No DRS this time, obviously. It'll be available on the next time around, so he won't get that rear wing, but can he make the move anyway? He's going to have a bit of a slipstream here coming down the start finish straight, as you can see Nathan moving around there trying to break the toe. He knows Freddie's coming for him. Freddie thinks he's going to get there just a bit too late. He's not going to have a chance into turn 1, but he's going to be putting him under a lot of pressure at this point. These guys gapping WTF Freak by a little bit. Vista Brinky, as we see Rock there moving ahead of Speed Sasha, and he goes straight on there over the first chicane, but Rock there up into P6. Speed Sasha trying to come back at him here as they come down towards the second chicane, and he's up into P6 there with Speed Sasha once again, but Rock there keeping it around the outside. Very close racing. Rock goes a little bit wide, and that's going to allow Speed Sasha to get the move back down on him again. High back there is going to try and swoop around the outside of Rock as well now. Rock trying to hold the inside line. Rock getting High back there getting a lovely run there around the outside, but they're still side by side at the moment. Rock trying to poke his nose up the inside for the next corner, can't do it. High back up into P7, beautifully done there from him. Excellent move from Highback to get up into P7 as we go back to the leaders here. Nathan and Freddie still half a second between them at the moment as they're battling over the lead of the race. WTF Freaks brought himself into the play here on the back of these as well. It's currently about less than a second separating the top 3 at this point. Vista there running in 4th place, a couple of seconds adrift of those at this point. You've got Brinky still hassling him for P5, and then a bit of a gap back to Speedchasher, who's got Highback all over him coming in towards Ravazza at the moment, but Speedchasher for the time being is still going to hold on to that one. Rock there behind them with Royberg, and you've got Justify, Islandberg. Big gap back to Oliver, who pitted at the end of the first lap. You've got Chris also, who's still running in this race at the moment, as Highback has done the move on Speedchasher there, and Freddie's made the move for the lead. Freddie's made the move into turn 1 for P1, and Nathan there is now trying to move ahead of him as well. trying to move ahead of Nathan as well as they come down towards the second chicane as WTF Freak too far back, can't make that move, but Freddie hits the front here at the beginning of lap 4. DRS move down the start finish straight. That's all he needed to do to make that one happen. Is now WTF Freak looking to try and knock Nathan while he's down here, but Nathan gets a good enough exit out of the hairpin and holds on to second place for the time being. Great stuff from Freddie though. He leads in his comeback race here in the Flat Out Racing League. Has obviously had to sit out last week due to some medical issues, but he's back out on track once again, and he is really enjoying the proceedings here tonight. We've got Nathan still ahead of WTF Freak. You've got Vista there running in 4th place ahead of Brinky, and then a couple of seconds back to Highback there in P6. Speed Slasher, Ruck, Royberg, Justify completing the top 10. Right now you've got Islandberg there in P11. A huge gap back to the other two, Oliver and Chris, as we just said. But the question is now, can Nathan get back on Freddie and give him a fight for this lead, or is Freddie now just going to just ride off into the sunset with this race win? Nathan just about within a second of Freddie. That'll mean he'll get the DRS. WTF Freak's also got the DRS on Nathan. Islandberg's got a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. He's obviously been overstepping those a little bit too much by the looks of it, but still Freddie leading the race ahead of Nathan at the moment, and WTF Freak sticking to the back of these at the moment as well. Ruck there's moved ahead of Speed Slasher up into P7 into turn 1. That's job done there for Ruck. Brinky trying to hassle the back of Vista as well. At this point, Freddie still leads the race ahead of Nathan and WTF Freak. 3-car battle here for the lead of the race as they come out of the hairpin here on lap 5. And we've got a safety car because Chris has crashed out of the race. So, safety car in the early stages here. And obviously we lost 2 drivers from the race. So we started with 14. We currently got 12 out on track at this point as well. But an exciting first couple of laps here with Freddie, Nathan and WTF Freak giving it absolutely everything, these three. And they seem to be in a bit of a league of their own at the moment. They're a little way clear of Vista and Brinky. See WTF Freak into the pits at the end of lap 5. Vista also coming in as well as Highback. Lots of drivers coming in. Ruck, Speed Slasher, 5 of them coming in so far. Who else is going to come in? We've got also Justify coming in as well. Here we are then, guys. Safety car confirmed coming in this lap, so we're going to get back underway here. A few drivers coming into the pits, obviously on the safety car. We've got the likes of Vista, Rock, Speed Slasher, Justify, all on fresh hard tyres. Highback's put on some fresh mediums. I don't think the fresh hards will get to the end from here, so those guys are going to have to come into the pits again, probably towards the end for some softs. Highback will definitely have to come in again. We'll probably have to put another set of mediums on. But here we come then. It's going to be Freddie to get us back underway here at Imola for tonight's action here at the Flat Out Racing League. And once he's put his foot down, we'll be underway. Here we go. I think he's gone. We're underway once again here. So Freddie gets us back under green flag as we've got Oliver moving ahead of Vista up into P7 straight away. In fact, no, he's had to concede the position because he did it before the line. So Vista there back up into 7th place and Oliver dropping down the order. He's had to get out of it there and it's down to 12th place. So nightmare there for Oliver. But it's Freddie leading coming through the first chicane and down through turn 4 for the first time towards the second chicane. We've got Freddie ahead of Nathan followed by Brinky with Jay Royberg in 4th place. You've got Islandberg, as you can see there, that's moved at a little faint there. And there's a bit of lag going on there with Vista. So he seems to be all over the place right now. WTF Freak's disconnected from the session. He's currently running in P6, so he needs to get himself back in as soon as he can here. Freddie, though, leading out front with Nathan currently just behind him there. Brinky is trying to cling to the back of these two if he possibly can. But WTF Freak's AI is dropping down the order like a stone right now. He's on fresh soft tyres, so he's really not being able to make the most of those tyres at the moment because he's not even at the car. So he needs to get himself back in ASAP. Otherwise, he's going to really lose any chance of getting a strong result here tonight. But still Freddie leading with Nathan really close to him right now. Only 0.4 of a second between these two at this point. You've got Highback also challenging on the back of Rock here. Rock is also challenging on Jay Royberg. You've got Islandberg there moving ahead of Jay Royberg up into 4th place. Coming down towards Ravazzi. You've got Rock there sending one down the inside. Goes deep though and goes onto the gravel there. Islandberg moving ahead of him. So is Jay Royberg. And Speed Slasher there is going to get him as well. And I tell you what, Rock is losing out to everybody here. Justify and Highback getting ahead of him. Justify moving ahead of Highback as well. And Justify up into 8th place. Rock there down to P10. It's got WTF Freaks, AI, and Oliver on the back of him right now. As Freddie still leads the race ahead of Nathan with 0.2 of a second between these two at the moment as they're coming down towards the second chicane. Vista there with a 3-second time penalty. As Nathan there making a move for the lead. Freddie there can't do anything about it as Nathan down the inside. And Nathan hits the front here on lap 9 of the race. These two pretty closely matched around this track though. So Freddie just has to keep himself close and they'll have a chance to come back in over the course of the race. But both of these two running on the medium tyres, the fresh medium tyres, and so far Nathan enjoying them a little bit more than what Freddie is. So Nathan currently leading the race here at Imola tonight. But he has just picked up a 3-second time penalty, which is going to be crucial at the end of the race, because if Freddie can keep himself within 3 seconds, he will get the win no matter what, even if he finishes behind Nathan here. So he just needs to make sure that he's close to Nathan and doesn't allow Nathan to drive off into the sunset here. But still Nathan from Freddie with Brinky not falling off at the back of these at the moment. He's still right there with them and not losing too much time out at this point. Islandberg there in 4th place ahead of Speed Slasher, who's within a second of him at the moment. You've got Jay Royberg there with Vista and Justify running up the inside here of Vista, looking down the inside into Ravazza. Is he going to make this one stick? Justify there down the inside and gets that one done there up into 7th place. Nicely done there from him. Oliver having a nightmare right now, running wide there, going through that. So it's got WTF Freak's AI on the back of him, but WTF Freak hasn't rejoined the session here. So has he got problems with his internet maybe? Not quite sure. Justify in the meantime has moved ahead of Jay Royberg. Jay Royberg down to 8th place. Vista there down the inside up into 7th place. So Justify and Vista both picking up positions there. You got Rock now trying to pressure the back of Royberg here as they come down towards the second chicane once again here. But Justify leading this train of cars, trying to pull away from them if he possibly can. As we see a cluster of cars all packed into a short space right now. A great battle here between these guys at this point. Rock there looking up the inside of Royberg going through the hairpin. He's still too far away. He's going to look up the inside through the next corner here. Is he going to have a chance to make a move? Royberg keeping it around the outside there for the time being. Speed Sasha there, moving up into fourth place ahead of Ireland Berg. Beautifully done there from him. Vista down the inside. Oh, he moved across Justify a little bit there. That was naughty there from Vista. And Justify straight over the gravel. Gets the 3-second time penalty. There's a bit of a slap in the face there from the stewards, who obviously weren't looking at that incident, or obviously had no idea what had happened just before that, which is absolutely ridiculous. What a joke. And the F1 game, for all of its credits, has got some pretty significant flaws as well there, and Justify there, unfortunately, falling victim to one of those. I was going to say, if you had actual humans doing the job, it might be better, but yeah, not necessarily, because some humans aren't humans; they just look like them. But currently, you've got Nathan still leading ahead of Freddie right now, and Brinky in third. So these three separated by about a second and a half at this point. And these guys are gapping Speed Sasha by a fair bit. Speed Sasha also gapping Ireland Berg by over a second right now. You've got Justify trying to cling to the back of Vista at this point, but just a little bit too far away, really. The only battle in the races is currently the top three, as Freddie is currently closing in on Nathan a little bit. He's got DRS down the start-finish straight. I reckon he's going to be a little bit late to the party here coming into turn one. Or I'll tell you what, actually, you know what? He might make a move here into turn one. Is he going to get it done? Freddie down the inside. Nathan there with another penalty, as Freddie's going to get that move completed, as he gave him a little bit of a tap out wide. Nathan there's now going to watch out, because Brinky's attacking on him as well, coming down towards the second chicane, but he's going to hold on there is Nathan. But Freddie now leading the race once again here. These two, Freddie and Nathan, have been swapping positions left, right and centre since the beginning of the race. Freddie now in P1 once again here on lap 12 of the race. Oliver now with a 3-second time penalty there for track limits again. So another driver getting a penalty here tonight. It seems like it's penalties galore here at Imola. Only Freddie, Brinky, Speed Sasha, Ruck, Joyberg and WTF Freak have not picked up penalties, and obviously WTF Freak's AI is in the car, so you can kind of rule him out of that one. But yeah, Freddie back in the front here in this race, and Nathan still trying to be close enough to force an opening potentially if it becomes available. Vista here all over the back of Ireland Berg as they come through the chicane, the final chicane. Gives them a bit of a tap in the rear there. Justify is right with these guys as well here, 5th, 6th and 7th places, as Nathan there has made the move on Freddie going into Ravazza. So he's got himself back up into P1. Freddie though will have the DRS down the start finish straight and might be able to come back at him here. In fact, no, Freddie dives into the pits, so that's going to just settle that one for the time being. So Nathan and Brinky continue on their way. What tyres is Freddie going to put on here? Ireland Berg also coming in here at the end of lap 12, and hard tyres going on Freddie's car, so he's going to go to the end from here. It's a one-stop strategy there for Freddie. Nathan and Brinky still just over a second apart at this point. Speed Slasher there in third place, just on the coattails still of these two. Vista there, you're not getting a great run, or is he lagging? I think he's just lagging, to be fair. It's difficult to know how he's driving at the moment, because he's just lagging all over the place. Freddie back out onto the track in P10, just behind WTF Freaks AI. Just noticing on the timing screen there that Freddie's negotiated WTF Freaks AI and is up into 9th place as things stand at the moment. So we watch Speed Slasher here trying to keep onto the back of Brinky, but he's just got a little bit wrong there coming out of the final chicane. That's going to just cost him a few tenths of a second. The gap creeps over 1 second now between those two. Vista's still close on Justify here as they come into Ravazza. Vista there making a move on Justify up into 4th place into turn 1. That's job done there for Vista. And Ireland Berg there getting a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. Oh, Speed Slasher gets done there for track limits as they're going to the final chicane. He was keeping on the back of Brinky there. trying to force him into a mistake here, Speed Slasher, but he's made a mistake himself there. Justify almost a second behind Vista now, so he's dropping out of that DRS as we speak. But Speed Slasher is still fighting as Nathan's coming into the pits, so is Brinky as well. So that allows Speed Slasher to take the lead of the race for the time being. Started on the hards as well, so I tell you what, Speed Slasher could be in a really good position here because he'll get to do a stint on the mediums at the end. Brinky and Nathan in the pits, they're really going to come out in relation to Freddie, who was the leader before he came in. Nathan coming towards the end of the pit lane now. Where's Freddie? Freddie's just coming over the start-finish line. Oh, has Nathan jumped Freddie here? I think it's possible he might have done. Nathan there off the limiter. Where's Freddie? Freddie has got ahead of him. So Freddie maintains what is the net race leader at this point. Nathan there in second place as Brinky's come out behind Ireland Berg. So the net top three, Freddie, Nathan and Brinky. And Brinky's fallen a little bit away off the other two over the course of the pit stop phases here. So Freddie there running 2 seconds clear of Nathan. Now he's gained time on Nathan over the pit stop window. Came in earlier though, so his tyres will be a couple of laps older. And Nathan's retired, or he's left the session, so he's disconnected now. So that's 2 drivers who've disconnected in this race. Let's hope Nathan can get himself back in as soon as possible here. Otherwise he's going to lose time. Brinky there moves ahead of Nathan up into 9th. Eilenberg there has actually pitted. So he was obviously, he pitted a couple of laps ago, but he's probably not going to go to the end on those mediums. I wouldn't have thought. It would be pretty specialist if he did. He'd have to do 19 laps altogether to get those to the end. As Justifies moved ahead of Vista up into P2, round the outside into turn 1. Job done there. Jay Royberg now coming into the pits at the end of lap 15. Oh, as Oliver there goes a bit wide, and his teammate Freddie there swoops through up into P5 with no dramas. Freddie obviously in a net lead at this point. He'll be wanting to hold on to that. He'll be fully aware that Speed Slasher started on the hard tyres, so could be in a very strong strategic position here. In fact, so could Justify, so could Vista and Ruck, to be fair, because those guys are not far off of Speed Slasher. Only 6 seconds covering the top 4 at this point. But all of these 4 still yet to pit here in this race because they're not going to be able to go to the end on those hard tyres. 26 laps on a set of hard tyres is not going to be possible. Eilenberg here with DRS, swoops past Oliver without any issues there up into P6. Here's the thing, Freddie on much younger tyres here than the top 4. And we think the top 4 still have to pit again. He's currently 18 seconds behind him at the moment on 7 lap fresher tyres. Vista currently close on the back of Justify here as they're going through with that, so he's going to try and keep himself close here down the start finish straight. Let's jump on board here with the Alfa Romeo, obviously as of 2024 called the Kicks Alba team, running in their bright green livery as opposed to the red and white Alfa Romeo colours that they ran last season. And here he comes looking to the outside now. Is Vista. He's going to make that move around the outside without any dramas there up into P2 in this race. So Justify there had no defence there with the DRS for Vista powering him past as we see Oliver into the pits here at the end of lap 17. Justify's going to try and keep himself close here on the back of Vista, try and Make sure he's there, ready to pounce though. Vista though, I think might start to pull away a little bit here. Seems to have a bit more confidence at this particular stage in the race. Keeping an eye on Freddie because he's gaining about a second a lap on the leaders. With his much fresher tyres, that advantage is only going to continue to exaggerate itself as the race goes on, because the guys at the front, their tyres will be falling off the cliff. After about 23, 24 laps, their tyres will be all over the place. And Freddie's are going to be good to the end and beyond. But obviously, at this point, he's got a lot more tread. He's got a lot more confidence in those in the tyres and the car, everything. It all seems to be working at the moment for him. Eilenberg only about a second behind Freddie, but his tyres are not going to make the distance, not anywhere near. Those medium tyres are going to be falling off, probably with about 4 or 5 laps left to go in this race here. The lead runners probably at the same point are going to find that their tyres are going to be basically non-existent. So Freddie just needs to be patient here, needs to not push too hard. If he continues to gain about a second a lap, he will be on these guys at the end. Needs to just negotiate them one by one. That's the first of those 4 drivers who've put the hards on lap 5, who have now decided to box. So I was saying before how their tyres might not last, how they might be forced to pit beforehand. Well, that's one driver who's bailed out of that strategy. So who's to say the other 3 won't be doing the same over the course of the next 12 laps? But Speed Slasher's still the leader. Freddie within 14 seconds of Speed Slasher, but the longer the Speed Slasher goes, the more he's committing himself to this strategy, because Freddie is chipping away, and so is Eilenberg, but Eilenberg still has to pit. Brinky is also not too far behind. He's only 4 seconds behind Freddie at this point, so Brinky could potentially be in this fight as well. Still a long way to go. Speed Slasher's gap to Vista currently 2 seconds, so Vista's bringing it down a little bit to Speed Slasher over the last couple of laps. Oh, Freddie with a good save there coming out of the hairpin. I tell you what, he was really close to losing that there. That was a close call there. Well done, son. Fantastic save. That was, yeah, heart in mouth time there for him. But he's managed to keep onto it. One of those moments, I think we're lucky to catch that, because I think more often than not we probably lose moments like that where they happen and we just aren't watching the driver at the time. But Freddie there with a massive moment. It lost him a second and a half in terms of his lap time. Maybe he was already down, maybe he's lost some of that time elsewhere, maybe it wasn't all through that moment there, but even so, a real hairy moment there for Freddie. He's keeping the gap at just over a second to Eilenberg. He's been slightly quicker than Eilenberg over the last couple of laps, and obviously Eilenberg on the faster tyres as well. So No surprise that Eilenberg's managing to keep tabs with Freddie at the moment. Brinky is about 3.5 seconds behind Freddie. He's gained a little bit, obviously, with Freddie's small mistake on that last lap. Could have been a much bigger mistake. But all is well as it stands here. Speed Slasher still out the front. His gap to Vista 2.5 seconds. It's staying at around 2.5 seconds. It's been like that for a little while. Ruck within 10 seconds of the lead, but he's not going to win this race here tonight. Freddie, though, could potentially still win this race on his 7-lap fresher tyres than the top 3. 12 seconds he's got to overhaul in 10.5 laps here. Is Speed Slasher going to come into the pits? Or is he going to try and make these tyres last 27 laps? Vista's just gained a little bit on Speed Slasher over the last lap. About 0.5 second actually he's gained through that lap. So Speed Slasher getting a better exit out of the final corner, gets a better run through for the final sector, but Vista does seem like he is chipping away bit by bit here. So potentially if these two start battling, that could also help Freddie out to close that gap as well. Justify's got a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. We're just seeing that pop up there. So is Vista as well. So Vista pushing it a little bit too hard there, trying to close the gap to Speed Slasher. But Freddie is pulling up onto the back of his first target here. He's on the back of Rock now. He's wanting to minimise the amount of time that he spends behind him because he needs to clear him quickly. He needs to try and get after Speed Slasher and Vista, the top two, who are about 8 seconds up the road from this battle here. Rock is going to be the one to try and keep Freddie at bay, obviously battling for the podium places. But how hard is he going to fight this? He knows that Freddie's on much faster tyres. He knows that Freddie obviously has got pace here tonight, was leading the race for the first stint. Sort of played it safe, I guess, with the safety car. Maintained track position. He's all over the back of Rock here, looking to the inside into Ravazza. He's too far back, gets out of that one. He's going to wait for the DRS zone here. Smart driving from Freddie. Playing a strategic game, knows he doesn't need to go for a rash move yet. Vista is into the pits. That's massive there. Eilenberg with a 3-second time penalty as well. As Freddie here, making a move down the start-finish straight. He's going to have DRS and he's going to power him past Rock here. As we can see, Eilenberg now attacking on the back of these as well. Is Eilenberg going to make a move on both of them? He's looking around the outside of Rock there. As Eilenberg looking up the inside of Freddie. Oh, he gives him a bit of a tap there, but he gets out of it. And Eilenberg there managing to actually stay behind Rock. It was Rock there, gave him a bit of a tap. Eilenberg moving ahead of Rock there up into third place, back again. So Freddie in the meantime still running in P2. He's made that move there on Rock, and he can now try and chase down the leader Speed Slasher. So he's only got one driver now to negotiate if he wants to win this race tonight as Freddie. He's currently 10 seconds behind him, and we don't know if Speed Slasher is going to come into the pits yet. He might well bail into the pits because he put those tyres on lap 5. He's going to have to do 27 laps altogether, or 25 racing laps, because obviously we had a safety car until the end of lap 8. So yeah, it would be 25 racing laps, 24 racing laps should I say. No, the safety car was out until the end of lap 7, so 25 racing laps it would be to the end of the race if Speed Slasher can get there. And he's coming into the pits, so that's going to release Freddie into the lead of the race. So Freddie here comes out of the final corner here at Imola, and he is now your new race leader here with just 7 laps left to go. Speed Slasher on the soft tyres though is going to have an absolutely enormous amount of pace in the final few laps. So is Vista though. Speed Slasher still coming down the pit lane. He's going to come out in P6 behind Justify here. Vista coming over the line. Speed Slasher now out of the pits, just ahead of Vista, not by much, but he's ahead of him. So Speed Slasher and Vista there running in P6 and 7, 16 seconds behind Freddie at this point. They're going to have to lap 2.5 seconds a lap quicker than Freddie. Freddie on worn out hard tyres. The difference between a set of hard and a medium, a set of soft and hard is about 1.2 seconds at the best of times, but with Freddie's tyre wear, that could neutralise it to the point where it's about 2.5 seconds. So with the gap at 14 seconds currently. Speed Slasher's got to go 2 seconds out quicker. It's not beyond the realms of possibility here that Speed Slasher and Vista could be coming for Freddie in the final few laps, but they've got a lot of traffic here. There's a lot of drivers in between them. Eilenberg, currently still Freddie's wingman there in second place. Ruck, Brinky, Justified. There's a lot of drivers in between Freddie and these two, so still a lot of work for them to do, even on their faster, fresher tyres. So Freddie has still got a few layers of protection here, which could stop him from losing this race win. He's currently got Eilenberg still pressuring him, but Eilenberg's tyres are not going to make it to the end because he's done 13 laps on those mediums so far. They'll have to do 20 laps altogether to get to the end of the race. That's not going to happen. That's not realistic there for Eilenberg. He's going to have to box before the end of this race. Ruck with tyres the same age as Freddie. Sorry, 7 laps older, should I say, than Freddie's, and might not get to the end either. He needs to pit still. Brinky running in 3rd place, and his tyres are a couple of laps younger than Freddie's. It's not going to make too much of a difference, that is. It's going to be quite minimal. I'll tell you what, though, Eilenberg, his tyres are on borrowed time, but he's still keeping the gap close here to Freddie. And Freddie just needs to, I think Freddie just needs to rise above this. He needs to not be too phased by Eilenberg, because he will know that Eilenberg's tyres are not going to make it to the end. He'll know when Eilenberg put those tyres on. He'll know that he's not going to do 20 laps on a set of mediums around Imola. It's just not going to happen. So he needs to stay calm here and not get too put off by these advances here from our Aston Martin driver running in 2nd place right now as we start lap 27 of the race. 6 laps left to go here at Imola for tonight's Flat Out Racing League here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. Obviously you're watching this on Sunday night. It was actually recorded on Monday as Oliver gets a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. Speed Slasher and Vista only 10 seconds now off of the lead. These two are absolutely flying at this point. They're going to be coming up on the back of Justify in a second, who's running in P5 with a bit of damage there, I think, as well. As Oliver there up into P9, that's because Highback is into the pits here at the end of lap 26. Eilenberg still pressuring the back of Freddie here. When are his tyres going to give? When is he going to come in and make a pit stop? Is he going to try and get to the end here? He's going to be clinging on at the end of this one. I'll tell you what, those tyres are going to be all over the place come the end of this race. If he does go to the end, he might even get a puncture there. Speed Slasher and Vista now 8-9 seconds behind the leader Freddie. They're coming up on Justify, they will be in a moment. Justify pressuring the back of Ruck here. Ruck obviously on his very worn out hard tyres. I'm surprised he hasn't come in on those, to be honest. The two who he was a little way behind are now coming up behind him here, Speed Slasher and Vista. So they're going to have a chance to move themselves through. They're only 8 seconds behind the leader now. Freddie's still keeping Eilenberg behind him. Still staying cool. Justify has moved ahead of Ruck into 4th place, and now Speed Slasher's going to try and follow him through Aqua Minerale. He goes, and it's probably going to be routine stuff here for Speed Slasher. Now Vista's going to try and follow him through as well, as he manages to get ahead of him there. So Ruck losing 2 places, Speed Slasher and Vista continuing to cut their way through this pack like a hot knife through butter here in the closing stage of this race. And I'll tell you what, they're running in P5 and 6 now. Freddie might be looking at that timing board and feeling a bit nervous at this point, because he knows that they're going to be cutting their way through on these soft tyres, but they're not making too quick progress on this lap because they've had to negotiate. Obviously, Ruck a moment ago, so that would have cost them a bit of time. They're now on the back of Justify here. Speed Slasher with the DRS is going to make this move probably without too many dramas here. Riding on board here with the Mercedes. He's going to look surely on the back of him. No, he's too far back into turn 1. Justify's going to keep ahead of him, which is just going to hold him at bay for that little bit. It's going to buy Freddie some time here out in front. He's still just ahead of Eilenberg here. Eilenberg has done a really good job of keeping those medium tyres in their optimum window here. He's managing to do his fastest sectors almost, despite being on 16-lap-old tyres, as Rock's got a penalty there as well. So that's another time penalty there, handed out. The only drivers without penalties here are Freddie, Brinky, and you can't really count WTF Freak because his AI's been in the car since the opening lap. Oh, Oliver getting out of shape there, coming out of the hairpin. That's allowed the high back up into 8th, and Jay Royberg into 9th place here. So Oliver there getting out of shape, losing a couple of places. Back to the leaders there, Freddie and Eilenberg still 6/10 apart. Eilenberg still managing to bring it here, despite his penalty. Obviously, he has a penalty, and he also has worn tyres, which is going to help Freddie out here. Vista making the move there on Justify up into P5. Speed Slasher 7.5 seconds behind Freddie with 3 laps left to go. Has the opportunity for Speed Slasher to win this race gone here, as Justify's got back ahead of Vista there going through the first chicane. So Vista down to P6 here in this one. Speed Slasher continuing to bring the gap down to Freddie, 7 seconds at the moment. Freddie still keeping Eilenberg at bay here. Jay Royberg with a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. Freddie's got a bit of traffic there up ahead of him. You can see Nathan there. He's obviously, his AI's in the car. He left a little while ago, did Nathan. So did WTF Freak. So Freddie's going to be making his way through past these two in a moment's time, you would think. Speed Slasher there with a 3-second time penalty there. So that's another penalty for Speed Slasher. He already had one before. Freddie, Brinky keeping out of trouble. These two have been pretty much faultless in terms of track limits. Freddie, I think, altogether has been faultless. There's only one mistake I've seen him make, and that was a little bit of a twitch coming out of the hairpin in the first stint. But other than that, he's not put a foot wrong over the course of this race. With only 2 laps left to go, can he hold off Eilenberg on what are going to be some worn-out medium tyres here? Somehow he's keeping them still in the optimal window. Vista there moving ahead of Justify up into P5 as well. Speed Slasher only 6 seconds behind Freddie now. Can he get himself onto the podium here? Brinky without penalty, so it might be unlikely here for Speed Slasher. As Freddie there putting a, Eilenberg putting a lap there. Freddie running just about a second or so up the road here. He's just pulled out a bit of a gap there to Eilenberg over the course of this lap. He's now got some more traffic here in the shape of Jay Royberg. Freddie shouldn't be too fazed by that though. He's keeping it within track limits. He's driving a cool, composed race here tonight in the Flat Out Racing League. What a drive it's been here tonight from him. Into Ravazza he comes for the penultimate time here in this Imola Grand Prix here. Out of the final corner to start the final lap in a second's time. He's now got a second. Maybe Eilenberg tyres are now starting to fall off a little bit here, and potentially Freddie could now make a break for it on this final lap of the race. Speed Slasher well within a second of Brinky, but Brinky with no penalty should be able to get the podium position nonetheless here. Not sure what the nature of Eilenberg's penalty is, but Brinky could be in for a P2 when all is said and done here. Yeah, Eilenberg's got 9 seconds, so Brinky will pick up P2 regardless, even if he loses out to Speed Slasher here on the final lap of the race. As these guys are lapping the... that car there. Yeah, that was the Red Bull of Nathan, should I say. But yeah, gap currently 2 seconds between Freddie and Eilenberg. So Eilenberg's tyres have started to fall off here in the closing stages. I predicted that would happen a little while ago. It didn't happen when I thought it would, but it has happened eventually. But this man here is the man of the moment tonight. He's absolutely not put a foot wrong over the course of this one. Qualified in second place on the grid. Got the jump at the start. Led the opening laps. Had a great fight in the early stages. He's battled a few drivers tonight, to be honest. He's battled WTF Freak, he's battled Irelandberg, Brinky. He's gone toe-to-toe with a load of people, but Freddie's going to come over the line here to take the win in Imola. What a fantastic drive from him on his return to F1 racing. Thought he wouldn't race on F1 23. He's come back with a bang here. Brinky coming over to take second place with Irelandberg third and Speed Slasher over in fourth place. Justify P5 ahead of Vista in sixth. As he crosses over with Ruck is going to come around to take seventh place as the rain started falling right at the end here. Ruck's going to come around the final corner to take P7 in a second. He's a long way clear of Highback, but seems to be trundling over the line. So has he just used a bit too much fuel here? Nonetheless, he's going to hold on for seventh. Highback coming out of the final corner. It's going to be an eighth place here for him as he's coming over the line now. And he's got a little bit of a gap here to Oliver, who's running in ninth. Oliver coming down the hill towards Ravazza. I think has he run out of fuel as well? Possibly. So Oliver and Jay Royberg stragglers here. Nathan's finished a lap down already. WTF Freak coming through the final corner. He is a lap down. Over a lap down. Obviously, it's AI in the car there. So is Nathan. Oliver there over the line to take ninth. Jay Royberg will be the final points paying position here for him. But that is that then, ladies and gentlemen, and that is tonight's action. And it's Freddie who takes the win. It's his first broadcast win in the F1 League race. What a fantastic job from this man. What a return to racing. I have to say, it's amazing to see this. He did not do anything wrong over the course of that race. He was just flawless in every single way. One hairy moment coming out of the hairpin, saw him get a bit of a twitch, but handled it like a pro, reacted to it in an instant. And yeah, what a drive from him. Freddie, your race winner tonight here at Imola for the first broadcast race in the Flat Out Racing League. And we're going to be broadcasting this every Monday, obviously. Well, no, we're going to be broadcasting every Sunday. But it's been recorded on Monday, so obviously the races are on Monday, and then it's part of our Motive Racing Super Sunday on Sunday evening. But yeah, for those of you watching, this wasn't done live, or rather the comms were done live, but this isn't live at the moment. This was actually recorded on Monday, and you're watching it on Sunday. But that is that then, guys, for tonight, for this particular race. But stay tuned, because we'll be showing Motive Racing's Formula 1 League straight after this. So yeah, stick around. We'll be probably about 5 minutes for that, and afterwards we've got the main event of the evening, the GT3 Championship on Assetto Corsa Competizione on console across the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. So yeah, definitely stick around for that as well. Coming up at 8 o'clock tonight. That'll be live as well. That's not recorded, that's live. But yeah, from all of us here at Motive, for the time being, for the foreseeable, for the fleeting moment, it's about 5 minutes. We'll see you in a bit. Bye bye.